Okay. I'm doing research on how long it takes for a person to die. From suffocation, which is what George Floyd died from. Well, guess what Cora says about that? It takes 7 minutes for the average human being who cannot breathe to die. Okay. So, while George Floyd is being arrested or something, I guess, right? Is that what the officer is trying to do? Yes or no? Yes or no? If you're taking him to trial, no, and charging him with murder, what is he doing in the first place? Is he around people who are being part of the problem or part of the solution too, right? That plays into it as well, not just what he's doing, right? Now, if it takes the average person 7 minutes to die from suffocation, and you say the officer has his neck, the neck of George Floyd, and his knee is on his neck, what does that mean? Well, if he's suffocating George, right, he can't say, I can't breathe that many times. It's the same with the guy from New York, right? Who was being arrested for a misdemeanor, right? They can arrest you for certain misdemeanors. What he was doing was selling what's called loose cigarettes, which is illegal in New York. And a misdemeanor, like, for example, if you have less than an ounce of pot in Georgia, it's a misdemeanor. But you can get arrested for it and go to court for it. I still have to go to jail. And mhm, mhm. Now, I took karate from 83 to 87. And we were taught about chokehold and breaking someone's neck. And it takes 8 pounds of pressure and 7 minutes to choke someone out to death, right? Right. But the pressure usually has to be constant. And if the person is forming a sentence saying, I can't breathe that many times, right? That sounds fishy, right? Because, see, when you can't breathe and you're really being choked, you're going to sound like you're hoarse. Right. You can't say it clearly. Now, if something is politically motivated, though, and it's sad that George died from the, pressure put on his knee, right? But suffocation, right, and a broken neck are two different ways to die, too, right? Now, if what finally killed him is the officer put so much pressure on his neck, it broke his neck and spinal cord, right? That's really what killed him, not suffocation. Uh, but what's going on there is the officer arresting him for a legal reason or an illegal reason? Is George doing something he was told he couldn't do. Once the officer informs you, you cannot do this, okay, right? He has the right to arrest you if you keep persisting in that behavior, right? That's what I was taught. The difference between resisting arrest, right, is when an officer stops you, you comply with everything he says. If he tells you to get up the car and he wants to search the car, you gotta let him do all that, and or you're resisting. Then he'll call another officer over to him, right? Usually, to help him sedate, right? Now, when you swim in the pool, you also can normally hold your breath for 1 to 2 minutes as well. And that's another thing I'm finding odd, right? That if George can't breathe, right, and the normal human being can only hold their breath a couple minutes, right, before they pass out, by the way. Which, like I said, right, another question is how long does it take a person to pass out, right? Well, that depends on, again, oxygen depravity, right? And can be different with different people too, I guess, right? I don't know. I don't know. But see, I gotta ask more questions about this because of my expertise in chokeholds. And what you're saying is he's using his knee as a chokehold, right? Well, the question is, did he die from suffocation or a broken neck, right? So see, the difference is you can't say if you're being suffocated, I can't breathe 27 times, right? Because your body can't form a sentence from your vocal cords if you can't breathe. To talk, okay, you gotta what? Breathe. Just breathe.